All right. Look at that. Live on YouTube. Welcome back. Wow. Let's see. Close that out. Okay. What's going on, guys? Going to get started here in a minute. I'm sure there's probably not very many people watching, but that is fine. That is fine. Waiting on the guest of honor. The ultimate guest. That thing right there just said that this guy dated Taylor Swift in high school. I don't know what I'm watching on television right now. If you guys are tuned in, make sure you share with a pair or two. We are testing out YouTube Live currently. So hope you guys enjoy the topic in which we have ahead of us. Topics in which we have ahead of us, rather. You guys light up the chat, text a friend, be like, oh my God, bro, look, Shane is on YouTube Live for some reason, and we don't know why. Who gave him access to this? We have no clue. In the meantime, as I'm waiting on our guest before we actually start recording the podcast, I'm going to go ahead and pull up some of my handy dandy notes. Jesus Christ. Don't know if you guys are aware, but college football right now is brazy. It's really bad. The national championship is TCU versus the Georgia State Bulldogs, and TCU has got 7, and Georgia State has 38 points at the beginning of the third quarter. That is bad. That is real bad. All right, let's see. All right, guest of honor. Tell me if or when you can hear me.
I can hear you.
Okay, nice.
You live?
I am live.
We live, baby. Oh Lord, no. No, don't.
Hang on just a second. I'm gonna try to see what my audio is sounding like.
It's like rain.
Tell me if or when you can hear me.
Do it sound good? Am I coming in too hard and I'm coming in too soft?
You're coming in great. Hey, you sound great on the YouTube too.
Well, that's great.
Bitch.
You were. Let me cut myself down a little bit. Shit, I feel like I'm coming in a little bit too hot.
I'm gonna try my see what my audio sounds like with just my headphones and not my mic. Hang on just 1 second.
Okay, dude. Booty magic puss. Yeah, what the fuck am I doing? Come here, you stupid fucking bird. Young Lonnie said he want to get piped down. What?
You hear me?
Yeah.
I'm trying to see how this is gonna
Go.
yeah. I mean,
Go.
this is
Go, 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 go.
and on the count of 3, everybody run back to your fantasy.
Hey. Young Lonnie said he want to get piped down. What?
Okay, let's see.
Wait, what the fuck? It's like
Oh, this shit sounds perfect.
That sound copacetic.
And on the count of 3, everybody run back. Turn that down a little bit. Okay. No, it seems like it wants to drain my battery really bad whenever I use my interface and stuff.
Mhm.
So if I can just not use that, it just is better. But the
That would
quality,
probably be nice, yeah.
the sound sounds good enough for now. Honestly, and when I get a new computer, I won't have that problem. But for now, I do have that problem. So
Bitch money.
see, I got the door right behind me, so that way if I get if I get what is it? Fucking damn, I don't remember what it's called. Oh, if I get swatted, then everybody can see perfectly fine.
I mean,
But I don't think that's ever gonna happen. But all right. But no, I'm wanting to test out all the different things to see what it sounds like and all the other good stuff for when I actually have, because we did this before, but was really just having so much fun on the last one. But this will let me go back and do whatever.
they're
But
not gonna get us. Sorry, yeah.
yeah, we're gonna have some pretty interesting talk.
So we're gonna talk about more Andrew Tate shit.
Dude, hang on just a second.
Did he get charged? Well, I know he got charged.
This right here says, well, hang on, we'll wait. I'm gonna hit record in just a second.
Motherfucker, no.
All right, here. All right. This might not even last on YouTube for very long, but it's gonna be on there for now.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna. I'll try to censor myself.
I'm not really saying it for that purpose. I'm just saying I'm gonna have
You
it.
should. I mean, if this hits big, you know.
I'm saying for the sake of
I'm saying for the sake of money.
in a brown paper bag. I can go back and review this and see how everything sounded and played out on YouTube. But I'm also going to have it recorded and release it in the normal fashion that I usually do. So, all right, here we go. Fuckers. I'll just have to delete all these before I decide to get monetized.
Shit, somebody gonna find it. You get popular enough.
Yo, welcome to Organic Poison Podcast. We are live on YouTube right now. Not a lot of people tuned in currently, but that's okay. We're mainly doing this for an additional test. So for whenever the time comes that I actually take the time to promote a good day or so or a week or so in advance for some of the for some other guests that I decide to have on the live, I'm going to promote it a little better, but I want to actually make sure I know what the hell I'm doing beforehand. So if you're on the YouTube, hey, how's it going? If you're not on the YouTube and you're listening anywhere else, what's up, guys? Stay tuned for the next time I say we're going to go live spontaneously 10 minutes before doing it. Yeah, tonight I have Xander with me again, of course. Shout out to Xander. What's up, my brother?
What's up, man?
Now, I feel like I've mentioned this before. Xander is not necessarily my co-host, but he's my co-host on a different show, Highly and Hideout. But he is a frequent returning guest on the Organic Poison Podcast, also a long-term friend of mine. So, yeah, thanks, Xander, for allowing me to drag you into a spicy episode of OP.
Yeah.
It, sometimes I feel like I'm that guy. I always knock on people who feel obligated to point out that their episode is going to be spicy. Like it's easy
I
to
was
make
like,
fun
I'm
of.
like, yeah, don't even do that because I mean, most of your stuff I wouldn't really say is insanely spicy, but
Yeah, I think
like, hey man, it's pretty much like setting yourself focused. It's like, yo, bro, I'm gonna go crazy, man, and you got some fucking weird guitars going off in the background.
yeah.
Like, yeah, bro, yeah, 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 man, we're gonna go hard this thing, and it's just
And instead of dropping f bombs, or instead of saying fuck, I just go effing yeah, man. It's effed up, dude.
I don't know, but see, maybe that might work because I mean, controversy is so. I want to say it's so last year, bro, but I mean, so many people farming that shit to the point where it's kind of it's not
Yeah.
even
Well, I
that
think that
impressive anymore.
well, at this point, I think what it is, I mean, we say we want to say what we want to say and express how we want to feel, but you don't want to feel obligated to go crazy. You don't
Yeah,
want to be obligated to say something stupid, or
well,
and in all reality, it's like, why would you want to cut your feet out from under you before you even get somewhere? Hey, I'm just going to say what I want to say. And then whenever the time comes, if something ever comes where, say, you get like kicked off of a certain platform or something, like, which we are far from, but I'm just saying it gets to that point, then it's like you kind of were asking for it. You told everybody you were going
well,
to say
no, no,
something
no,
crazy.
no, no, no. You tell them the truth, and people want to stop you from spreading the truth, man. The Matrix wants to hold you down and all that bullshit.
The fucking censorship, man.
Yeah, the censorship. See, the saddest thing about all that is, I think a lot of us was probably on that kick for a minute. We were all probably feeling like that for a while until every single fucking loser started using that as an excuse.
Right. Yeah, it's like it's not supposed to be that way. Sorry, I got interrupted by a little human being that came in here. And so
Oh,
that's the one that's going to cancel me for driving the F bomb.
Dad, you're a piece of shit. Whoa, what's the son?
He comes in here, he's like, "Yeah, fucking gang." He
I'm
comes in
gonna burn.
He comes in here, he's like, "Your mom's dead."
Whoa, I killed her. Like, oh, what?
Oh my god, it's not funny, son.
I gotta cut off real quick.
But yeah, so I mean, hey, we might as well get right into it, I guess. For starters, Andrew Tate, the story continues. I mean, look, I feel like I talked about it briefly on the last episode that I did by myself, but then I avoided talking about him on the radio show last Thursday, Toxic Tunes and Trends, every Thursday on deviantbehaviorradio.com. Shameless plug. But let's see. This is the latest thing that I have seen, updated 52 minutes ago. Live, no evidence for trafficking or rape charges against brothers, says lawyer. Says the lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
Lawyer for Tate brothers says defense yet to be shown prosecution file. So I guess they haven't seen the evidence. So that doesn't mean that the evidence is not there. It just means that they have not been exposed to the evidence. They have not seen said evidence. But let's see, just briefly reading this. It says Andrew Tate's lawyer has claimed there is no evidence to support allegations of human trafficking, rape, or organized crime against him or his brother. The former professional kickboxer turned controversial influencer, 36, and his brother Tristan were detained in Romania last month as part of an investigation by the Romanian Organized Crime Bureau, which most of us are aware of that. But it goes on to say Eugene Eugene V, who represented both brothers, told Romanian news site Gandul the defense had not been given the opportunity to study the prosecution file for the case. He says, quote, "I will point this out from the beginning that even up to the present moment, the criminal investigation file has not been made available to us to ensure the effective defense of our clients. In this sense, I would like to point out, at least from this point of view, I am also somehow amazed there is not a single piece of evidence apart from the victim's statement that leads to the idea that a crime of rape was committed." Earlier, local media reported that the Tate brothers had been rushed to the hospital after a medical examination. I didn't hear about that, but I guess I hadn't gone down far enough. Yeah, so Now, don't get me wrong. I think we're all kind of in the same boat as far as it goes with I mean, I think I've expressed several times. This guy kind of seems like a bit of a dickhead. We'll obviously go in a little further about his behavior and stuff, but like, is it really that hard to believe that the guy who more or less has bragged on several occasions for being kind of a dipshit, uh, you know, is it really hard to believe that he probably caught up that he's possibly actually guilty of some of at least a portion of these charges?
I mean,
Like,
this whole entire video is with him telling on himself.
right?
Like it isn't, and there's even videos of him slapping the hell out of a few women, but I think the video, the charges got dropped because the woman claimed it was like some sort of weird sex kink thing or whatever. So
Yeah, like
that
role
was
playing or something
yeah,
like that.
yeah, and he's beating the fuck out this woman with a damn belt, but she's like, it's okay, it was all for performance or whatever. But then there's apparently another video out there where the girl claims that it wasn't performance, but I've never seen it. I don't know what the hell it is, so I ain't gonna speak on it.
See,
But
and that's the thing that's crazy about this dude specifically. Like there's so much stuff that's like people making up things or just like what's the word I'm looking for? Embellishing the truth. But there's so much stuff that you don't even need to embellish the truth about him. You know what I'm saying? Like even just the things that have come out of his own mouth. And
yeah,
like,
he's when people are going to talk about, I guess, the human trafficking aspect of stuff, they're mostly going to talk about Taken. You know, that movie where it's like, oh, these girls are getting sent to whatever foreign country, some Eastern Europe place, and they're getting pimped out and drugged up and killed and raped and put in snuff films. That's what most people are going to be thinking about. But see, he's talked about how he's basically set up a cam site for porn or something. Used what was called the lover boy method as a means to pretty much like, I'm going to get these girls to come over here, I'm going to get them to fall in love with me, and I'm going to get them to give me money, and I'm going to lie and cheat and tell them that they're going to get some of it, while I'm probably not going to give a lot of it to them. Like, I think there's one video of him saying, well, they're kind of stupid, so you can just tell them whatever the hell you want to, because the taxes and stuff like that, you can just take all the money from them, and it really doesn't matter. I mean, what are they really going to do to you at the end of the day? And of course, his people who are with him are going to say, where's their choice? It's the same like shit with the NFT thing. It's like, well, if you got scammed, you got scammed. It's like, nah, dude. I mean, I'm not too sure that's completely true.
yeah,
Because he was saying, well, they could have laughed anytime that they wanted to, and it wasn't like he was hurting them or hitting them. Like, yeah, but you tell a bunch of like poor women that you meet off of the streets of like Romania that, hey, I got some money coming for you if you can do this. I'll just eventually pay you, and then he probably just never pays him or whatever, or he pays him a low amount. That in of itself is human trafficking. Like taking somebody from wherever the hell you done took them from, acting like you're going to give them the promise of money and riches, and you screw them over, and you do this to a lot of women, and you fly them out. That's the same shit. He was talking about like getting the bottom bitch and everything else. That's pimp talk. And
yeah,
it's the exact same thing. And just that in and of itself is illegal.
right.
It doesn't matter if you're doing it on, the internet or not. It's still pimping.
And we're also talking about, yeah, exactly. I mean, even the they talked about,
Yeah,
and I'm not sure the extent of what went on with the whole, the cam stuff or whatever. Like I don't know what the extent of that is.
allegedly, that's how he got his money.
Yeah,
Like I don't know, there's so many stories out there, but apparently he was involved with the mob or some Romanian mob or whatever. And like I said, this is all legend. I didn't fucking read that much into it, so whatever.
sure.
But he ended up getting in trouble with them, and he owed them some money. And in order to get himself out of it, because if he didn't pay him, he's gonna get killed or worse or whatever. Somebody's
Right.
gonna kill his family members or whatever. But if he didn't get out of it, because I guess he had like gambling debt or something. But if he didn't get out of it, he was going to be screwed. So he had to get himself out of the situation. So he had some girls, and he had told them, hey, basically, I'll give you money. We can run this business. I can run the back side of it, do all the tech and stuff. And you can pretty much just be the face. And he did this to a few different women. And, this is how his riches were gotten.
Right. And see, this what I was gonna say
And
too.
fighting, of course, I guess. But
Well, apparently he didn't get that rich off of fighting. I mean,
I
I
mean,
don't
he won 76 rounds, bro. Like, come on, bro. Like,
think.
you have to give it to him, man. Like, he did something. He's smart.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't think that
Like,
did
he didn't even
much
make it
for
to
him.
the pro circuit, bro. Yeah, we
Yeah. Like
like
it,
if you ain't never heard of him, I know
like what's what I was gonna say though, just going back to like, okay, so let's just say that this one specific video where he said he was beating the girl with the belt and stuff like that, and he was saying some very salacious shit, which in general, whether it's fake or not, whether it was to be fake or not, that video is toxic as fuck. And I'm not the overplayed word, obviously, but it's just a nasty video. Like that's some weird, that's
yeah, but I
some
mean,
that's weird shit that like even if we found out that one of our homeboys was going home and cranking it to that kind of like porn or something, you'd be like, bro, this guy's got something going on. Like you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Am I
yeah,
am I wrong though? Like that,
yeah.
like you'd be like, dang, dude, I'm not really sure like what's going on in his head. Like that's some weird shit. So like, but on top of
Yeah,
that,
well, cause see, I mean, the video didn't look like it was no porn or nothing like that. That's the funny thing about it. It was
sure,
just him running around the room. I think his brother was on the other side of the room. He's just beating the hell out of this girl with a belt.
yeah, it's weird. It's and clearly like if you're into that, that's a certain. I mean, to each their own. I
Like it
guess.
didn't. That's my point. Is that it didn't look like it was a cam porn or nothing. It looked like it was just somebody, his brother, or somebody recorded him just beating the hell out of some chick.
Yeah, like or just them on some dark
Yeah,
shit. But like something I would say, like this guy allegedly has a bunch of money, right? I mean, obviously he does have a bunch of money at this juncture, but
I'm not even too sure that's all that true. Like
well, maybe
it's
not.
getting to the point to where it's like to me, he just seems to be someone who is backed well.
Sure.
And maybe he made a bunch of money off that cam stuff, but I mean, it's to the same extent of like, does DJ Academics have a lot of money? You know,
I
it's
think DJ Academics does have a lot of money. Takashi 69 would be a better example because it's like maybe you don't really have all that money that you're flexing with, or you know what I'm saying,
you
or
talking about net worth and all that crap.
yeah, yeah. Like there's could be like you said there could be people, and
Yeah, what's your worth versus what you actually have in the bank?
in today's society, you have no reason to doubt that somebody would just be like sponsoring these guys for whatever purpose. I mean, think about it, dude. You could like sponsor these guys with like $1 million a year, more or less, and pay for all their travel. And just for the sake of entertainment, there's people out there with
Yeah.
billions of dollars that could just be like funding these guys doing whatever the fuck they want,
Yep.
just to watch the chaos unfold.
I mean, it's just, well, I wouldn't say just to watch the chaos unfold. I mean, well, maybe
I mean, there
that.
could be other narratives
I
too.
mean, that basically like you see industry plants in music.
Yeah.
But you also see it in movies. You know, everyone's talking about the nepotism babies and all that crap, and I'm like, well, that's the basis of Hollywood, always kind of has been.
Right.
But that's the basis of everything. Like most people get jobs because of the friends or because of the families, blah blah blah, so on and so forth. But when you talk about so I mean, it's possible that it can actually also be seen within the internet space. It's just that a lot of people don't think that. You know, they
Right.
think the internet is the real people and it's the freedom of choice and it's the truth. And it's like it really isn't. Like
Right.
maybe it was at some point, but I don't know. I think after that net neutrality stuff, things got weird.
Well, and another thing is, especially with someone who is as what's the word I'm looking for? As like so with such a wide reach as Andrew Tate, like I'm sure some of it's fabricated, but it would be foolish for us to pretend that this guy has not influenced to some degree. I'm not saying that he's created a bunch of little hymns everywhere, but I'm saying like let's just think about like social engineering. Like, if you look at all the like, if you did think about somebody dumping, he has either dumped a bunch of money into himself or someone else has dumped a bunch of money into him, and that has caused his like, if you go onto comment sections on Instagram, you could find actual real people on Instagram with real accounts that are saying whether they're
Or
joking.
are they?
Well, I mean, I'm saying like people I know personally that whether most of them would be joking around or even still like they'll be hitting you with the line of free the top G. He ain't do nothing wrong. Free top G. Like without even considering the possibility of him actually being guilty of something. I'm not necessarily saying he is. I don't know, but I'm saying like, I mean, he's obviously guilty of something, but I'm not saying as far as these charges and stuff go. Like people,
Well, I
say,
mean, well, because just to the point of him almost being guilty of something, they said that the person who was prosecuting him, or the people that were involved in it, besides the fact that they've been on his behind since I think the ending of last year, the beginning of last year, I think, 2022,
yeah,
they've been following this story. So
yeah,
it isn't Greta Thunberg called it in, bro. It's
yeah,
her. That stupid shit. It isn't that. It's he's been in trouble for this type of stuff before. That's why he went to Romania in first place, because he said they have lax laws. I mean, once again, kind of self-snitching on himself.
right.
But I mean, I don't know, dude. I think for some of these people, it's just they've already existed.
Sure.
And you had your Jordan Petersons, you had your Joe Rogans and stuff, and I always call them more middle of the road dudes, like
Right.
Kevin Samuels, who are more or less just kind of telling people like it is, kind of while being a little bit rude about it. Maybe, over exaggerating the points here and there, but kind of trying to be as normal as they can about it. Versus this guy he's had money before. I think he's been a reality TV show. He's been trying to get famous for like maybe 10 years now.
Right. And you
The
can
dude has
tell
been making himself do this for a while.
I was about to say there is definitely
He's been trying to make a name.
there is a for sure a consistency in that's been a what's the word, a trend of his to be like, I want to become famous. So
Yeah.
that's another reason why you could almost believe that some of that stuff with the this was with the chick might be like, yeah, hey, just pretend that whatever, I'm not, because he even says, that's why I was going with the money thing. Clearly, even if he was beating the shit out of this girl, he could have been like, look, like, I'll pay you a fuckload of money for a very long time. Or if you
But see, the problem is that them NDAs wear off eventually. Like that's what happened with the R. Kelly shit. NDAs really don't mean anything now since the Me Too movement,
if somebody
which is good and bad, I guess.
if somebody came and beat
Actually, I say it's mostly good.
I'm not gonna say me, for example, but just I mean, you pick some. Okay, let's just say me. Somebody comes and beats my ass, and they're like, "Hey, bro, look, I just beat your ass, but I'll pay you 15 grand a month for the next 7 years if you just tell everybody that you were in on it."
Yeah, but that's you. Like
I mean,
you
fair.
remember we even discussed this about that Backstreet Boy thing. We were talking about it on Holly and Hideout.
Yeah,
Like about how now all of a sudden, because the NDA then ran up or whatever, the girl's like, yeah, well, so and so did this to me. And we were saying, well, shoot, bro, like if Mariah Carey tied me down, I was like, yo, I want you to be my sex slave. And let's say she was doing this to me since I was like 15 years old or something.
yeah,
And then, tossed me off to the side once I was like 25.
yeah,
I ain't gonna tell nobody nothing. Like I have no reason to. But see, then again, it's like I'm a dude.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I hate to kind of dive off into that, but society won't really care that much about that kind of shit. Unless she was like burning me or really, really hurting me and had somebody like pegging me or something, unless it got to those lengths. But for the most part, people are gonna look at that and think, yeah, dude, you got to bang Mariah Carey for a bunch of money.
Yeah, I mean, okay. Well, what if let's look at it this way though. This is another curiosity point of view too, though. But like, what if it was what's that guy's name? He played Raven's best friend in That's So Raven.
that dude. Yeah.
Now, what if he was doing some shit like that, and then like the NDA wore out or whatever, just say on him. Like you probably would be too embarrassed to go and tell anybody he did all that crazy psychological shit to you. So you'd be like, "Fuck it, I'm moved on with my life by now. I ain't gonna do that," because I also can't get no money out of him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, and I do want to preface this though, if in the fact that Andrew Tate or anyone else was doing the fucked up shit to these people and they were not in on it like at all and not in agreement at all with this, then they're fucked up and they're wrong and they should be dealt with as is.
According to who, bro? Like sometimes women need to be
Yeah.
put in their place, blah, 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 stupid shit.
You're like, even Dana White hit his wife. But sorry, you probably don't even know who Dana White is, but
I know that guy. Yeah.
okay. Yeah, but no.
UFC.
Yeah. No, we're media silence on Dana White. Shut up. No, I'm just
I love him.
Yeah,
love my best buddy. That's my dad.
He's white. No, you like Andrew Tate's white too. Oh shit, yeah, he's innocent. Free the top G.
No, I think they said he's mixed or some shit. He loves talking about it. He's like, yeah, as a black man, I'm like, bro, stop.
Oh.
I'm like, yeah, okay.
I mean, I would not be surprised if that's what he did as soon as he got out of jail. It's just like I'm an African
Like, bro,
American
I'm like,
man.
if anything, you'll probably get fucked over a little bit. I wouldn't hold on to that if I were you.
Yeah.
Take it. Yeah, but like I said, I mean, it just depends on the situation. But like in this day and age, it does not particularly matter if you are a woman or if you're a dude who's really been fucked over in some sort of way, and there's evidence of it. Like all you had to do is just say it. That's it. The NDA don't mean crap.
Yeah.
Like I said, they just got finished talking about the family of R. Kelly. Just got finished saying about they were getting paid off to hide the fact that he tried to marry or that he got married to Aaliyah when she was like 15, 14 years old.
Oh, you wait, hold on. Are you talking about what? Hold on. R. Kelly got married to Aaliyah?
Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy.
Well, at
What
least
the
that
hell?
was I'm not sure. I don't know all that crap too, but I think he tried to get married to her or something. I don't know the full story about it. But yeah, her family just now came out and said that they were paid off not to say anything about it.
Damn.
But see, everybody already basically knew about it though.
Sure.
But see, that's my point about that
But
whole
I,
thing.
I
It's
can
just
I
that
can assure you that people my age probably didn't know no shit about that, or they forgot about it.
no, because we were kids.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
yeah, we didn't. Yeah, but anyway, I mean, even outside of that crap, it just that's my point. Like, eventually, it runs up, time runs up, and people are gonna find out and see what
Right.
today how the Me Too movement's kind of like changed stuff around. You don't even have. I mean, you may not even have to wait for no fucking NDA.
Right.
Because see, you'll have the court of public opinion on your side. Like I said, and that's good for people that actually do get in trouble. And sometimes it's bad because you have some people who ain't did shit and they end up having their names right through the mud.
Yeah, and I mean, in all honesty, if you broke some heinous law, then they're probably gonna be like, yeah, a judge is gonna be like, well, fuck it, fuck the NDA, like we don't even care that you broke. Because I mean, it's not like you just a magic being just comes and lifts you up and puts you in a prison because you broke an NDA.
Yeah,
So
that's yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't even understand the full thing to that part. Because if I'm a woman and I didn't set up here and got raped down, and some dude's like, here, just take however much money, and make sure you don't tell anybody about this.
Yeah.
Don't even show them the rape kit or nothing. Like, man, fuck that.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah, exactly. I'm gonna take that.
I'm
money
gonna
and
take
sue your
this
ass
money
for it.
and sue you.
Yeah,
You
like,
see you in court.
and see, I think something else that's just weird to me too, though, and this is not necessarily with the Andrew Tate thing, but this is relevant to that one. It's like, so a lot of these people aren't even like trying to press charges on him, like they're just trying to get money out of him. And
Yeah.
I'm not saying that exclusively to him, but it's just like to me, it's like almost like it seems disingenuous. Now, mind you, I'd be like, hey, bitch, I want to press charges and I want to get money from you. Fuck you. Like I want to rob you blind because of what you
Yeah.
did to me or what you did to my daughter or whatever it may be. Any of
That's
those.
some other crap I was hearing too. People were saying that it was alleged that he may have even been trying to get like politicians' daughters involved and stuff. And it's like if that's the case, then I can completely understand why he's getting in trouble now. It's like
Yeah.
you done effed up. You done went for the wrong group of people. Or I was thinking that maybe he was never supposed to get this loud. And if he is working for the mob or whatever, maybe they were just like, yeah,
If he's
dude,
got
we didn't want
any kind of
yeah,
ties,
you're effing this up for us right now. Because like
yeah,
real ones don't play about that kind of shit. They don't joke around about that. You ain't about to just be using our money and our influence as a means to do stupid shit online
right.
and have up the money for everybody.
And so there's an interesting point that they made, obviously, on Tim Pool's show the other night. But
God.
they're pointing out the fact it's like they're talking about the point of him being like okay, yeah, so okay, we've got this Andrew Tate thing, and that's great. We should definitely investigate and do something about this. But like, look at how the whole like allegedly the whole internet or the dead internet is going out of their way to like be like we need to bring Andrew Tate to justice, and nobody gives a rat's ass about what happened with Jeffrey Epstein. It's like this is like something that
No, we all cared about what happened to Jeffrey Epstein. Like this, it's like we talked about this before. When it comes to real politicians, when it comes to people who have real fucking money, it doesn't matter what people say. Like everybody was talking about that, bro. Everyone was like me, you, pretty much everybody that we knew.
sure
The whole entire a lot of
people
Americans
might
were talking about that.
people might care, but we're talking about like the government and like these news outlets. Like the news outlets and shit are like, talking about Andrew Tate. It's like, yeah, it could be a problem, but you guys just gave up on Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah,
Like,
because they're a part of it.
yeah, I mean, fair enough. I mean, I don't disagree, But it's
Right.
just
I mean, I'm not
it
trying to
needs
say that like the news people who are like some dude who works at CNN was scoping out late girls or something like that. But yeah, it's like you in this case, I understand it's really, really easy to try to use whataboutism, but I wouldn't want to in this case because of the fact that, like I said, you're talking about like the Ghislaine Maxwell or whatever the hell her name is. It's a different sort of situation because you're talking about real government money, real wealthy people getting in trouble. That ain't gonna happen.
right.
Like that's just versus some dude who's online talking wild all the time. Like this
Yeah.
is two completely different things.
Hang on just 1 second. Pause that conversation. I got a code red situation. I'll be right back.
Gotcha. And I mean, you can talk about like what he represents.
All right, last thing you said was Ghislaine Maxwell. I guess you stepped away too. If you're on the YouTube and you're still here, thank you guys for tuning in. I have a toddler and he is not going to sleep. And yeah, he is a menace to society. Not really. He's the sweetest little guy in the world until it's time to go to bed. Any of you who have children probably are well aware of exactly how that goes. Yeah. So, yeah, if you're just now tuning in, me and Xander were talking about the plight of a man named the plight of a man named Anderson Tate, Andrew Son Tate. Not the plight of him. The problem, the controversy surrounding this man. You know what? The last thing that I said was basically talking about the frustration that there is amongst some people about how like it
You know that
immediately.
I walked off, right?
I know I was trying to fill the dead air. I didn't want to just
Oh,
sit
okay.
there and
I was about to say, oh shit.
but yeah, last thing you had said was you were talking about the Ghislaine thing.
Yeah, I mean, but just so to compare, I gotta put on my lip thing, so maybe the mic is better. I don't feel like I had to fucking yell. But eating on chocolate and shit is good. Um, but yeah, I don't think that the comparison to the two things all can be the same because I get it. It's both about like human trafficking and this and that. But at the same time, like I said, you're talking about a silly YouTube guy that really is mainly only known to the general public for basically being like a toxic guy meme. Like if you ask normal people, and I said this before, if you ask normal people who really don't be on the internet like that, a lot of them don't even know who he is. Like he's just a conversation to bring up when you're talking about like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Andrew Tate. Haha, I hit my girl in the face last week. Andrew Tate, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, he's just a meme. So trying to compare that to, you know, maybe some governmental officials being dragged through the mud because they done slept with some little teenage girl back when they were, you know, back in like 1993 or something like that. Completely different situation. It
Yeah.
just is. But I guess to the point that maybe you're trying to make is that, well, why would they go so hard? Why is the internet trying to take them down? Is it because of the truth? You know, I was like, I guess we can talk about that. But see, to me, all that really does is just amplify his legend. And I think that's really the point of it. Like for people that really, really love the dude and don't want to have any sort of like dissent against him, they'll always kind of fall back on, well, they want to hide the truth. They want to hide the truth, blah, blah, blah. You know, that kind of crap.
Yeah, it's like, but what truth are you talking about here? Like, and it's like me and you were talking about, I guess, last night, and not on the podcast, but we were basically saying it's like how I was mentioning, it's like the truth, like the positive, any positive sprinkles of positivity that this man are good things that could come, or thoughtful things that is actually worth digesting that comes out of this
It's
man's
already been
mouth
said.
is not anything that hasn't been already said. And it's like the fact that it's kind of shitty that that it's like it takes, and I typically try not to just generalize people. I try not to, but it's like, why is it that it takes that asshole for you guys to like allegedly get some kind of truth from something? To me, it also seems like one of those things where people are like, you make excuses, you use that stuff to justify like supporting someone like Andrew Tate. It's like, yeah, he could say some cool things, but like to me, that's the equivalency. That is the equivalency. Obviously, it's not the exact same, but like when people are like, no, Mao Zedong or Hitler was a good guy, or Mao was a great guy, or Joseph Stalin said some good things. It's like, yeah, so fucking what? They're still degenerative pieces of
Yeah.
shit. You know what I'm
It goes
saying?
back into what I've said so many times about shit like this. But if you just like somebody and you blindly want to, you know, choke their chode down, then just say it.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to make excuses for it. And I'm kind of just getting sick of people always making excuses for stuff. Just say that you like this person and you cannot think for yourself. You
Yeah.
just like this person so much that you don't care what they do. I think it would be just so much better if people could just admit that to themselves, but they
Well,
don't want to though.
I think it, I mean, even more recently, I think it's one of those things. It's just, I think actually we could dissect it in such a way. It's like, it could be just a part of,
It's a defense mechanism.
it's a problem with, I don't know, so I say a problem. I take it as like, it's a
It
problem
kind of is a problem.
with society in general, modern society. They did the same. It's the same thing with Trump. I mean, it was the same. I mean, obviously, I don't think that Trump was personally. I don't think that Trump maybe did more damage, but I don't think that he was spewing as toxic shit. I don't actually think that he could say things as intelligently as Andrew Tate does. Not saying that he's intelligent. I'm just saying he couldn't. I don't know how to explain it. Or
I get what you're saying. It's the quote unquote charisma lie, or the idea, or I guess what other people call the halo effect, but that's more about like physical attractiveness. But yeah, just the idea that like this person's so smart, they're clever. This person, look at him, he's ticking you off. He's doing but it's the exact same thing that kind of like helped the SoundCloud rappers get big. It's just this idea that like you have so many people who just for whatever reason, anytime there's any levied dissent, any dissent that's levied against them, you have like this flock of people coming out and saying, well, you either A, you don't get it, B, you're just a bot, which is what they always say about for Andrew Tate. Like basically you're NPC, you're progressive. That's the number one thing. Like you're progressive, you're just a liberal, you're a libtard, you know.
Yeah.
You're one of those weird Twitter people, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, and you can use that as a means to kind of just shut down the whole entire conversation.
Right. Well, and it's just cult of personality. You're going to justify your boy, whoever your boy is. Like, it's like no matter what. I mean, it's the same thing like with, I mean, it sounds shitty, but, and I don't think that the love is there, but I mean, motherfuckers were crucifying, we've been over this a million times. They're crucifying Joe Biden before he became the Democrat elect or whatever, because it was all Bernie.
No.
It was like Bernie. And then as soon as Bernie was out, immediately they're like, oh, it's all fine. It's all fine. Joe Biden's fine. He's not a rapist, or he's not a sexual predator. He's not.
Well, they tried to bring it back up again when they wanted Kamala Harris to be the winner. But it was one of those things where it's like, because they wanted an extreme progressive, because they wanted somebody, I guess, who they thought could be, you know, like the offset to Trump. So like, yeah, sure, let's just have a progressive the same way that we had like I said, the opposite of Trump. That's what they wanted. So they thought that Kamala would do it. And Joe is more, I guess, middle of the road, or maybe like old Democrat or something. Yeah. And so that's not exciting. That's not exciting for the news.
Yeah.
That's not exciting for the people.
He was also an old white man.
Yeah, that's not exciting.
Been in government for 40 plus years.
That ain't exciting for the people who love to wake up every morning and get on Twitter and complain about stuff. Right. But yeah, it's all about that personality. Like that's it. But see, I think even like I was watching this video today where this guy was talking about how Vice was interviewing Andrew Tate. And during the interview, to be real with you, I think the guy was just asking him the regular questions that everybody else is asking him. But see, the dude was dissecting the video and saying, no, see, listen, this isn't right. This isn't right. And the reasons why it's not right, because he's doing the same crap all other journalists do. He's not being unbiased. These are biased questions. I'm like, this dude said this himself. And then like Andrew Tate gets mad at the guy during the interview, and he's like, we invite you to our home. We come in here and we treat you well. I'm like, just like on some Trump crap. You know, it's very much like we do this for you, you know, we do this. But anyway, but the guy's just so ticked off during watching this interview, and everything, pretty much anything that's negative that can be said against Andrew, he just like, yeah, it's biased. It's the news, it's biased. I'm just like, bro, no, it's biased if you just sit there and choke him.
Yeah.
You stroke him down. That's what bias is. It's like even when a Taste dude said during the interview that like, why don't you talk about all the good he's done for men? Why don't you talk about all the good he's done? I was like, yeah, because he doesn't need you to do it.
Right.
Like you have an entire team of people who claim that he's doing good for men all the time. You got an entire, I don't even know how many dudes actually believe this fool or not, but you got allegedly a whole bunch of kids and, you know, dudes even our own age and maybe some older who believe that he's just, you know, setting them free and blah, 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 this and that. It's just like, no, you need somebody to actually ask him hardline questions. If you're getting in trouble for human trafficking, then hey, why not ask you that?
Right. Yeah, exactly. Like, but and
what's the problem?
Exactly, if it was anybody else, and I also think this is the same shit that I've always said. Like, as shitty as it sounds, and as played out as the term is, keep the same energy. It's like y'all don't be wanting motherfuckers to say nothing to your idols about that kind of shit.
Yeah.
It's like fucking, like the way people go in on fucking Elon. I'll be like, yeah, sure, that's fine. He's just as capable of being criticized as anyone else, or being put under scrutiny as anyone else, especially of his caliber. But it's like they'll jump through fucking hoops for like whoever it is that they, you know.
It's because it's more about the ideology and it's not actually about the person themselves. It's like I say the same thing about You remember when me, you, and like Brady were talking about the whole about Greta, like when why did she even come up?
Right.
Like, why did Tate even bring her up? She didn't say anything to him.
Yeah,
But
that's on
see,
him.
it's because she's a meme.
Yeah.
She is a meme for the right. The right loves talking about the damn girl for whatever reason. And it's like I remember I even had to look this up. I was just like, what the hell's why do people hate the girl so much? I don't get it. But it's I guess for some people who lean more
She's
right
an
on
easy target. I mean,
Yeah,
for what it's worth.
she's I guess it's because she talks about climate change and she's annoying.
Yeah.
Like I think that's the main point. But see, I think outside of that, it's not so much about her. It's about how the media has betrayed her,
Mhm.
portrayed her. It's about how they kind of like rally her around. Look at this girl who talks about climate change and da 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 da.
Yeah, she's so brave.
Yeah,
Like
she's
it's
so
shit like
brave,
that.
and that annoys people for
Yeah.
whatever reason. Like just that in of itself. But I mean, it's the kind of same thing with Meg Thee Stallion. It's like I don't particularly hate. I don't have anything against her. Really, I think she's trying to get the money the way she's trying to get it. But how the media like pimps her off is kind of like being the best thing of all time. We know it's probably going to get worse now that the toy thing is over, but
Right.
it's the same crap. But see, to that point, they did the exact same crap for Tekashi 6ix9ine. The exact same thing for like most of SoundCloud rappers when they came out. It's
Right.
this idea of like when the media wants to love somebody, they'll push that person.
Sure.
It doesn't matter how much everyone else is scratching their heads about it. They will consistently push that person into the limelight.
Yeah, and like something that sucks to me about like especially with like the what am I thinking? Like the Andrew Tate thing. Like the problem is like everybody's like you've used this word a lot before just in our conversations about reactionary. It's like Andrew Tate, like, okay, yes, the media, all the people that say NEEF specifically are a broad group, big swath of people, all the people that you hate as far as like media and stuff like that and influencers and stuff that all talk shit about Andrew Tate. It's like, yeah, you immediately, not me, but a lot of people, even me, sometimes I have the tendency, it's like you almost immediately, and this goes especially with political like lines in the sand, but it's like you immediately want to support that person just the fuck because. You know what I'm saying? Just because all the people that you don't like,
because it's like, well, that my team doesn't like them, and so I don't like
Right.
them too.
and
Like,
it's
that's
like
what it comes down
it's
to.
like, but
And
you
even
are-
if you aren't on that team, it's still just like I hate this. I don't
Yeah.
like the media. I don't like how the media is always doing this and that. I don't like how for some people they like. I don't like how men's problems are true and men do have problems. It's like I do agree with that, but he's not the one to tell everybody the truth here, buddy. If
right,
anything, he's like the low. He applies to the lowest common denominator
right.
to the general public, or to like the edgy teen boys, or I guess to dudes who are pissed off at women, or whatever else. He's not like Jordan Peterson when he's actually trying to come in with some maybe real book knowledge, some real
Right.
statistics,
or have a responsible conversation about shit.
yeah. He's just
Like-
so I hit my wife in the face because I can, because she's my property.
Yeah.
It's just like, bro, who is taking this serious? It's like maybe you can look at it because it's funny, and I don't really, and to keep it a stack with you, I'm not even too sure why that's even funny.
Yeah.
It's like maybe it's funny.
It would be it would be funny if he was joking.
Even if he's joking though, bro. Like,
Right.
I think
Well,
it's
I'm
funny
saying
in the sense of like the ironic funny, right?
Exactly.
Like, ha ha ha, it's kind of funny.
But it's not
because
funny
he
because of
wouldn't
the
do
fact that he's like, no, this is okay. This is actually okay. You
Yeah,
know
but
what I'm
see,
saying?
then when he got in trouble for it, he turned around and said, "Oh, it's just politics. I'm not really doing this. It's mostly just to get the controversy and the attention." It's like, yeah, but see, well, you've gotten in trouble for it, and now you don't know how to act. Now
Yeah.
you want to hide behind, "Oh, it's the Matrix," so people don't get it. Like, no, bro, if you're gonna be a troll, to be a troll and shut the fuck, shut up about it.
Right.
Like,
Yeah, just don't apologize.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Don't be a Tucker Carlson and get on an interview and be like, of course I lie from time to time. Like, who doesn't? You know, it's like I just lean into it then, like, you fucker. But like, and that's, to me, that's the equivalency of like Future going to court and saying, "Oh, I don't even do drugs,"
yeah,
or like doing an interview when he's
yeah.
doing
Them
in the middle
Rico
of a custody.
cases, them
it-
Rico cases.
when Future is in the middle of a custody battle with his fucking wife or ex-wife, and he's or whatever, Sierra, I don't know if they were married, and he just goes, "Oh, I actually don't even do drugs," and people were like, "What the fuck? Like, are you serious?"
Yeah,
Like,
or like when Cardi B didn't like she came out and said, "Well, I don't want my daughter listening to this music." Well, like I swear I heard Meg Thee Stallion say something about like, "Oh, I ain't really on that thought stuff for real like that." Like, oh, what you mean? So why you? What is this? It's like you pimp this stuff off to everybody else, but you don't live this lifestyle yourself. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a different topic completely. Because I mean, with Andrew Tate, his whole thing is that he does live this lifestyle. Like, I'm not guessing that's pretty much like the other reason why people seem to go for him. Because see, in my mind, like we've seen dudes like this our entire lives.
Right.
You know, guys like this snake oil salesman, they've existed for a long time now.
Sure.
People pretty much like, yeah, I have a really, really expensive car and I have women with me.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's it. That's all you need to see. That was the thing that did it for you. You've never seen a person like this in your entire life do this before.
And see, in all fairness, the thing is with the future thing, goes to that. And I wouldn't expect for him when he's like, I almost like it's one of those things that it's like, I can actually completely understand why you would say, for example, get on an interview and say, no, I don't do drugs at all, even if you do, because your scenario is you're trying to, look good in public perception because you have a situation going on. Of course, even if you do drugs, but it's like you do realize like you kind of look like a dumbass because you've been telling people for the past decade that you were strung out on dope. Which, in all fairness, if he was really that strung out on dope,
that's what I'm saying. It'd be wild. Oh, I don't think he's saying, "Oh, I've been strung out." Like, yeah, most of his music just seems to be like sad boy drug music sometimes, and that's
right.
That's when he feels like being, introspective. Outside of that, it's just party music for the most part.
Right.
Like that's mostly what he makes.
And I don't know. It's just I don't even know how we got or why I brought up Future, but it was just.
I mean, no, it was a pretty good comparison because, like I say, it goes back almost to like the RICO cases and stuff too.
Yeah.
Like here you are, you're doing stupid stuff, you're doing wild out of character. Well, not even out of character, some of these people, but you're doing crazy crap, and then you get called out for it because they look at your lyrics or because they looked at the music video. You made a song. You were like, on 51st Street, I did it. It's like, here's a tape of you on 51st Street doing it, sir. Like, what is this? Oh man, no, that was just music. Like, no, bro.
Well, it's like here's a tape of someone with a mask that has the same build, the same voice, and the same mannerisms as you doing the crime that you said you did. Bobby Shmurda,
same way.
Bobby Shmurda went to prison for 7 years because he admitted to all these crimes that him and his boys did over the course of like 11 different songs, and it got all of these boys put in prison. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like people ignore the fact that happened. And it's like there has been so many people that have gotten arrested since then. And it's like that's just in rap. If you just think about it like that. Andrew Tate right now is sitting in a jail cell and he like people are like, free him. He ain't do nothing wrong. It's like,
but it's because of what he represents. Now I would want to kind of get off into like, why exactly do you think somebody like him has this appeal? And do you actually think the appeal is real or do you think it's overinflated? Like, do you think it's artificially inflated?
I think that a mixture of audacity, like endless levels of audacity. It's the same thing as Tekashi 6ix9ine, but it's endless levels of audacity, intelligence on the way that you move, and the intelligence on the way you move could be perfectly illustrated by somebody who doesn't do anything wrong but just happens to be a target. I mean, that's just something that literally you could hire.
Well, I mean, how smart can you be when you self snitch on yourself? When you self snitch, when you pretty much get yourself in trouble. I think it wasn't the pizza box that got him in trouble, really. I think if he would have been more quiet while being in Romania, he maybe would have been okay. Right. And that's another problem. It's like he wasn't quiet. He's just been talking crazy this whole time. But on top of that,
supposedly they knew that he had exit flights out of Romania. They didn't know that he came there, but they found out that he had like X amount of tickets to get out of Romania. And that's when they knew that he was there. So, and then I guess he posted that video, and it's possible that video geolocating, or they just apparently like he owned, like they know that he has locations that he owns and that are his people own and he's responsible for. So they're probably like, yeah. And they raided all of those places. They didn't just raid his house or the place where they got him. So it's one of those things like they're probably like, hey, we have warrants to search all these places. I mean, allegedly we have warrants to search all these places, and he's there. So guess what? And there's no telling. It's not like him and his brother were alone sitting in this place by themselves with, you can't tell me there's not somebody out there willing to snitch on him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but like I said, he snitched on himself, bro. Like you are on the video, you're running around Romania, and you're already in trouble for this. You've been in trouble for this for over half a year now. Like you should have been moving smart, not moving crazy. So it's like, how clever actually are you? When you go online and you have an entire class that teaches people essentially how to pimp women, how to
Yeah.
manipulate women. And we ain't talking about just, red pill PUA crap. We talking about like getting money, breaking a hoe down, having a bottom bitch, all that. You
Yeah.
teaching your classes on all that wild stuff that can, lead it. If it's not human trafficking, it's really, really close to human trafficking. And it's basically illegal. But it's like, if you're doing all this stuff, how smart are you?
Right.
And see, I think that kind of goes to the point I was trying to make earlier, which is we have a real issue when once again people like somebody and they just had the tendency to give them every single like booster,
Yeah.
every single like confidence booster. Like, oh, I'm gonna say this guy's, he's super rich, he's handsome, he's this, he's that, he gets the women, he's this and that. And it's just like, yeah, all right, but he's still stupid. We're still
Yeah.
doing very stupid things. And so I can say it's not really about him being clever, it's about money.
And
'Cause people
cult,
say,
and
well-
cult of personality.
Yeah, but it's cult of personality. We've seen Andrew Tate's. We've seen Boonk Gang was Andrew Tate. Tekashi 6ix9ine was an Andrew Tate. Like pretty much everybody who's a SoundCloud rapper was an Andrew Tate.
Yeah,
That's
but none of them motherfuckers had like the kind of money behind them. Like, and Tekashi 6ix9ine did. That's why Tekashi 6ix9ine is still alive. Is because of the fact that he had protection and he had money. And I'm saying that the money might have bought the protection.
Well, see, that's kind of the point I was trying to talk about, was like, it's the money. See, what Andrew Tate did, and you can say this is smart or maybe not smart, or maybe just normal. Like, if you have the money to tell a bunch of people, hey, what I need you to do is go on TikTok. I need about 20 of y'all to be hosting like 50 servers. Go out there, push out all these short snippets of me talking about some crazy stuff and put it on TikTok for me. And then if TikTok bans me, put it out on YouTube Shorts. And YouTube Shorts ban me, like, do it. That's all he did.
Yeah, here's $100.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
that's
each.
legit all that he did. Like, if we all had money for that crap, anybody can do what he did. But see, it isn't so much
And the
just
wherewithal
that.
to do it, and the audacity to do it. That's another reason why I was saying like boundless audacity. Like,
Yeah,
the
but see, it's
willingness
also
to never
because
back
he
down.
does look like, or at least he does seem to have a lifestyle that a lot of these dudes want to see. They want to portray that.
Right.
So that's another part of it as well.
Yeah, like, I mean, the thing that's really just nasty to me is like imagining there being,
Nasty.
imagining that there's like 10,000 dudes that like immediately do the same shit that he did. Like, that freaks me out. So not that I'm saying that. I guess it's
Listen, if you have, and I guess this is kind of where this shit kind of leans into the other part of this, but if you've had a few bad relationships and nothing else,
yeah,
he's going to appeal to you, especially if you're a teenage boy. It's like I talked about before.
and you've got no other,
Yeah.
like something to hold on to.
Yeah. Or like I said, it isn't just that, oh, well, I didn't have a dad. Some of these dudes have dads. Some of these dudes have men in their lives. They just don't like those men. Or they think those men are weak, or they think those men are boring, or maybe the mom is running the household, whatever it may be. It's like, or this person just grew up on the internet. This is how this person is socialized. So that's it. They don't really know any other kind of way. Like we talked about that before, where I was just like, how in the hell are these people so malleable?
Right.
How are they so easily controlled? It's because, well, they've grown up like this. Like this, it's different for us, not just because of our age.
Man. Yeah.
It's weird for us, but I mean, like, it ain't just because of our age, because I mean, we are in the age group that he would be appealing to. Like, people who are like late 20s, early 30s, maybe we're at the top, or maybe we're like at the bottom, whatever way you want to look at it. But it's teens and people who are like young adults. That's where it goes to.
As played out as it sounds to me, it's like it just seems like people who are incapable of thinking for themselves. And I just
a lot of people are, though.
I hate to even say that that's what it is, though. Like, because
I mean,
it's like, it just
really
seems
does
so
appeal to
shitty
the
to say
general
that about
public.
some people. But it's like, because I feel like I want to have more sympathy for people than to just say that and be like, wow, you're just that incapable of thinking for yourself.
Like I said, if we're going for the more sympathetic thing, it is because, like, all right, you remember when we had before you got married, there was some guy that was talking to us, and he was really pissy about marriage. Like, I don't know
Um,
if you remember this or not, but it was like me, you, it was me, you, TJ. Yeah, it was cold. You wanted to smoke, and some guy came outside, and he just like, you were like, yeah, bro, I'm getting married, and this dude had said, fuck marriage or something,
yeah. Yeah. I think I remember what you're
and
talking
you were
about.
just kind of like, man, I don't get how people can be like that. And I'm like, what? Like, you don't know that man's life.
Yeah,
He
you
probably
live.
had a really, really crappy marriage, and that's what happened. But see, so I can understand it for people who've been through something.
Right.
It's the same argument that you have when you have women who talk about, oh my God, every guy I get with is like horrible, and he's just and he just like he cheats on me all the time. Yeah, that sucks. But to that case, and same thing for the guy, you need to, maybe make better choices.
Yeah. Or
Try
like,
to date somebody that actually likes you. Don't, fall for bullshit.
yeah, I don't know. Like I exactly though. It's like one of those things. I just think to myself, like, and I guess it comes down to sometimes it's just like, well, maybe you should be more grateful for like the life that you have had. It's like,
Oh,
despite the fact that, don't get me wrong, I don't think I'm ever been the type of guy to just be like, oh, my life was so hard. But it's like, despite the downs, with the ups, it's like, damn, you know what, dude? And this is kind of the way I always look at it. Could have been a lot worse, because if I was somebody who is my age and I was just that bitter with the world to where I'm like, you know what, fucking Andrew Tate is right, Nick Fuentes is right, like all that kind of shit. Like, not just that, obviously the malleable shit for everything else. Like, you know what we do? I wish I'm gonna get my cock cut off. Or no, I'm not. I don't know.
whoa,
Not saying that
whoa.
that's. I'm not saying that's the same thing, but I'm saying, like, say the people who do get to a certain point in life where they didn't even feel like that, but they do feel like the only way they can be accepted by anybody is if they conform to a certain, like, thing that is like popular in society right now. I'm not
Yeah.
saying that everybody who does, oh, I want to get breast and get my dick cut off. I'm not saying that all those people are like that. I'm saying that
Well, but
there are some people, undoubtedly, there
you
are
do have
people.
people who are they're like people who came up with videos saying how basically they didn't feel that way at first, and they got into certain blogs and certain spaces, and people were like, it's not depression, it's because this is what you're supposed to be, blah blah blah, so on and so forth. And then
Yeah,
years later on, they had to detransition because they found out they just had depression
yeah.
or they had something else. But it's like
Wanted
they
they just
didn't.
wanted acceptance.
Yeah. They had other problems besides that. But it's like, instead of going out there and figuring it out for themselves, or going into deeper research or whatever, they just they got around a group of people who were all pretty much thinking this will be the thing that will help you. It's just, and that's what happens. These people get in these
Right.
internet spaces thinking that these are the places that will set them free, and it actually makes it worse for them. And so, like, if you're a follower of Andrew Tate or whatever, because like I said, I got friends of mine who were kind of like, yeah, he's telling the truth. And I was disappointed. I was so disappointed, because it's like, this dude really is smart. Like, these are friends who I would consider to be very, very smart. But at the same time, it's one of those things where it's like, they don't, if you
No.
don't really, if this is your first time seeing somebody like Andrew Tate, maybe that's the other part to this.
Right.
Maybe he comes across as a novelty.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, that kind of
Like, if
goes.
you don't look at a lot of this internet crap, or at least know a bit of it, it will come across as like, oh man, who's this guy?
That's spicy and new. Or like Kanye West recently getting turned on to fucking a bunch of fucking
Yeah, the
neo-Nazi
Jew
Jewish
stuff.
shit.
Yeah,
He feels obligated, I like subscribe to it 100%.
yeah,
Because some people just have those personalities just in general. Like, I used to have a friend that, like, when he got into punk rock music, he was like head over heels 100% into punk rock. When he got into
yeah.
Orthodox Christian, he was like, oh, I'm 100% Orthodox,
It's
die
it's
hard.
because it's like, I had a way of saying it, but it's like, when we talk about how certain musical people or certain celebrities are basically there just to fill the void of a personality.
Yeah.
Like, people like that, like, I would say, like, people who probably really, really listen to Meg Thee Stallion and love her to death and everything, it's probably because they only listen to her not because they actually like her music, but because her music speaks to their lack of personality. It's something that they can fill their time with. Same thing we talked about with scene kids. Like I said, I liked a lot of the
Right.
music, but I didn't give a fuck about being in no damn scene.
Yeah. You wouldn't
Like, what the
necessarily
scene, fucking
invested in the
scene.
culture. Yeah.
Yeah. But see, for people who are like, it makes sense if you're a teenager.
Right.
Sometimes, I guess. I would,
I
fuck it.
I
I don't
I
even say
agree.
that.
I agree. Well, I think so
Because
because
not all teenagers are like that, bro. Some teenagers can see through the bullshit and just be like, yo, bro, I just like listening to music. I'm cool. But I
right.
guess the vast majority of them would probably be looking for themselves or trying to find something to fit into. So
Right.
I guess it makes more sense for them.
Speaking for the scene stuff, I mean that also was part just like the community of going to shows and shit. Like
Yeah.
there's like a subculture that just that was you went to high school, but you also on the weekends got to go to
Mhm.
concerts with your friends and stuff like that. But I mean that's just just speaking from that was kind of my thing. I was gonna say that was my scene back in the day, but pun, but like
You fucking
yeah,
motherfucker.
but like, to me, that was awesome. But in the same breath, it's like when you get older, I say you don't look at it as like, oh, this is, just where I fit in because I was kind of an outcast because I was fucking weird and homeschooled and, whatever, all those different things. You don't look at it like that at the time. You look at that now, and you can see how I see why I fit perfectly in there because I was fucking weird,
But see,
insert
that's what
over
a
here.
lot of people did though. Like you probably didn't think of it, consciously, but you have so many other people who did, who were
Yeah.
just like, man, I'm so like nobody likes me, bro. So I'm gonna listen to this like hard metal music or this emo music, and it touches my heart, man. Like
If
this is
if
what,
if they if they want me to be different, then I'll be
yeah,
different.
I'll be different, bro. That's what I always like. That's why I never did. I mean, I understood why they would get picked on. I wouldn't be cool with it. Like I
Yeah.
never understood it, but at the same time, I'll be like, you really are putting a target on your back.
Yeah.
It's
And
like
it's like you
nobody's
could still
telling
be,
you,
and it's like you could be into all the shit you're into, but
yeah,
even back then, it's like you're just being so dramatic about it.
yeah. Like you can dress the way that you want to dress, and people still probably gonna pick on you for that. But
Yeah.
it's like when you're that kid running around in the hallway, with Naruto hands behind them, and it's just
Yeah.
like,
Like licking walls and shit.
yeah. Just doing the absolute most because it's like you're slightly weird and awkward, but you can possibly grow out of it. But see, instead of just growing out of it, you're like, yeah, bro, I'm really quirky. Like, bro, calm your, bro.
Yeah.
Chill out. Like, there are people getting beat up for less. What are you doing?
Yeah. No shit. Yeah. It's like, and then almost like, oh, people pick on me. Look at me. I get picked on. I'm
Yeah,
not saying
yeah.
that's not everybody. I know some people
It's
hated
truly
being picked on,
it
but
really is a defense mechanism, but it's one of the dumbest defense mechanisms I've ever seen in my life. But
yeah.
that's what happens. Like that's how people like Andrew Tate kind of end up getting big for these types of guys because it's like they feel as though
Some
they've
of
already
those,
been ostracized.
I was
And
about to say, some of those people still feel ostracized even on into early adulthood and full adulthood.
yeah,
I mean, it's like I was saying about kind of the parallel. It's obviously different on a different scale, but like the parallel with Trump. I mean, it's like some of these, even politically speaking, it's like Trump is a jackass troll, but like, hey, you feel like he speaks for you because let's just say 2016, 2015 Trump. It's like because he's just like, yeah, all these people are jackasses. How do I know? Because I've been with them being a jackass.
yeah.
It's like I
I'm
know
going
these
to
people.
drain the swamp as I sit inside of the swamp,
Yeah, it's
as
like
I add more dirt to the
it's
swamp.
like, here, let me change
But
my
you'll believe me
let,
though.
let me get this mud off of my suit real quick. Okay,
Yeah.
yes, I'm gonna drain the swamp. Like I just got out of there, but
I
I'm gonna
just got, yeah, I just got finished pouring toxins into it. But yeah, but yeah, it doesn't it but at the same time it goes back on what I was saying though. It's like even if they found out he did all the bad things, it doesn't matter. They just like him.
yeah,
Like I think that's kind of it's a lot of it's multifaceted. There's a lot of different reasons why people like Tate. There's a lot of different reasons why people can like somebody like Trump. There's a lot of different reasons why people can like the polar opposite. And usually it's because it's reactionary. It's just, well, I know you like this, so I'm gonna hate it.
yeah,
I know that you hate this, so I'm gonna like it.
exactly. And that's why, and it sucks because to me, that's the most dangerous part about it, because that's when you find like a bunch of useful fucking idiots, and it's the same to me. That's the same thing that goes with even on the more progressive side of things. Like I'd be like, dude, I think you're missing out on what's really happening here. It's like you're so interested in defending your side. Everybody is guilty of it at some point in time. It's just like the quicker you can make yourself realize that no, this is like I'll be the first one to tell you that Alex Jones was right about a bunch of shit, but I'll also tell you that the motherfucker shouldn't have jumped out the window on the Sandy Hook shit. You know what I'm saying? Like that was fucking stupid.
Yeah,
You
but
know what
see,
I'm
the
saying?
reason why
And
people like
dangerous.
him, the reason why people like him can do that is because they already have so many people backing them.
Yeah.
And see, that's kind of like the same shit with Andrew Tate. Like it's sad with Andrew Tate because Andrew Tate ain't even been that damn popular that long. That's the
No.
crazy part. Alex Jones has been popular for close to like 10 years, if not more.
Right.
But it's like you end up getting a big head. Your ego is insanely
Okay.
double, triple,
You're
quadruple.
drinking your own Kool-Aid at that point.
Drinking your own piss.
Yeah.
you're drinking your own. You're drinking your own acid because it's like you're believing in yourself, even though you know damn well, like, all right, bro. Like
Yeah.
you may even have people around you, but see, a lot of times they ain't even got people around. But you
Right.
got, it's like if we, for instance, me and you or any one of our friends, we kind of had the tendency to like go off into all these conspiracy things, and sometimes we're like, all right, calm down,
Yeah.
chill out.
Yeah, or like I need to be clear with everyone and also myself that I am just kidding. You know what I'm saying? I need to make sure that I'm clear with myself that I am just kidding. Like I don't actually think this. I just need to, calm down, take a step back.
But see,
like,
with Alex Jones and with Tate, they have so many people there who are always there to just try to protect them, not only from the crazy progressives and the crappy far left journalism, but even from like the people who just kind of trying to ask them basic questions.
Yeah,
like I said, you can't. There's no negativity allowed. Nothing.
Right.
If you ain't sucking down the chode, then you're not a part of it. Like you can't be at the cool kids table unless you have them in your mouth at all times.
And it just it sucks. I am very curious to see what's going to happen with the Andrew Tate thing, just because of the fact that, like, can you imagine he gets out of jail? Like, like, you know what, we don't have anything on it.
Yeah,
like,
if he gets out, it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be like way worse than what they thought it was at first.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's my point. Like, if the guy who supposedly the guy who's in on this, or the prosecutor, whatever, they've gotten into a lot of they've done a lot of stings on like people like this, like serious stings, not just haha funny, bull crap. So that's why a lot of people are starting to think, oh, this may be a little bit more serious than we think it is.
And in all honesty, it's not going to take much, man. It's not going to take much for them to lock him up.
No, I mean, I'm thinking, that's what I'm saying. Even if he doesn't get, charged for no wild, crazy crap, he can still possibly get charged for scamming people. If not the women, then he can definitely get charged for scamming like all these sad dudes who he's been getting money out of.
Yeah. And something else that's interesting that I haven't heard anyone else talking about. They could just be trying to extort him for information or a position on someone else.
Or this could all just be one big ploy to make himself come across as like legendary.
Yeah, the person or whoever's pumping him to the world could literally just be like, "Hey, Romanian government, we'll do some kickbacks on a couple of, we'll build some new we'll take care of y'all if y'all just play this game for a little while."
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
What's going to happen?
He is going to be so vindicated if he gets out and he's a free man.
That man will be able to run for president in 5 years.
Not in America. There's no way.
Huh.
I mean, I hate dudes. There's a lot of things. Listen, conservative Christians want you to be able to have, not all conservative Christians want you to have a valid ID in the state of Louisiana to watch porn. I don't think they're going to be
I'm telling you, like
free Andrew Tate.
Conservative Christian means nothing anymore because evangelicals ruin that. Most people who are even older than us, I say the only people really about that conservative Christian stuff is people who are like 60 and up, maybe 55.
It's still a voting block, though.
It's still a voting block, but it's a voting block that has no control in pop culture. And see, pop culture basically controls the vast majority of everything, at least when it comes to the way people think and act.
Fair enough. I don't think that just losing the conservative Christian voter block is going to be the reason that somebody like Andrew Tate couldn't become president, dude. There's no way. There's no way.
If that man, if he is able to balance this, right? If he's able to finesse this and like say, and take it further, which I'm guaranteed he's going to do. Like if he gets out charges with bull crap, he can go out there and say that the Matrix was trying to get me, blah, 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 all this wild shit he be saying. And then he can be like, 5 years later, he's built up this huge media thing, this huge media massive YouTube channels and everything. And let's say, 5 years later, he's like, I'm going to run for president.
I'm not that black-pilled in humanity.
I am.
I'm just not. I can't.
To me, they ain't even. That's not even black. People thought that Trump wasn't going to make it, bro.
And Trump is nowhere near the specimen that an Andrew Tate or even say
he was a reality TV star. who literally just who got big off of talking crap about Obama.
And has nowhere. Are you talking about politically got big, got into the political space? Because he did not get Trump. Donald Trump did not get famous for talking bad about Obama.
That's how you started out.
Dude, absolutely not. Donald Trump has been popular since long before we were born.
I'm not talking about I'm saying like the way that he got into the political space was because he used to talk shit about Obama.
I mean, that's fair enough.
Before
I
that,
guess in the modern
yeah,
age,
he was
sure.
big as hell. I mean, yeah, you talking about was that show The Apprentice and all other kind of stuff? Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's what I mean. He was in a reality TV star, so he already had that voting block you talk about.
And he was in
pretty
movies.
much.
He was
Yeah.
listen. He was
A
universally
movie too, yeah.
loved by people, with the exception of like older people who just didn't like him as a scummy businessman.
He was loved by older people. Most people in our age range, I didn't give a shit about him.
Our culture used him as or I say our culture, hip hop for sure, thought of him as the boy because he had money.
He's a rich white dude, yeah.
Yeah, like and
he's in like porno tapes with Snoop Dogg.
And he's funny. Like he was a funny dude. I mean, it's foolish he's funny now. He's an asshole, but he's funny now.
Well, I mean that kind of goes back to the thing I was saying about Andrew Tate.
Too much.
Like is Andrew Tate funny and charismatic, or is he just saying stuff that's considered to be edgy?
I don't really think
which our generation just loves. We love edgy comedy.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying. If I thought he was joking, he would be a little more funny, but he does not portray that. But I'm also not the swath of people that we're talking about here either. And to your point, like obviously there's people who adore this man who think
it's like I can understand why somebody would say something that's funny, like if it's genuinely funny.
Yeah.
But see, then again, I guess that comes into comedy is subjective and all that kind of shit. But I mean, just me being a prick, and this is from me because I've done stuff that I guess people would consider to be funny, and you see me when it happens. Like I'll say something that's kind of mean, or I wouldn't even usually try to do it on purpose or nothing like that, and people just be laughing. Yeah, I'm just like, I don't get the fuck's funny, dude. You said that. I'm like, all right, man. Like,
I imagine sometimes, and I've definitely been on the laughing end of you're being dead ass serious, saying something and me laughing because it's way too awkward not to. Because I'm, oh yeah, that's funny, Alex. And you're like, no, I'm not joking. I'm not really. I'm serious.
And everyone else is like, ha ha ha, yeah, he got him. I'm just like, hold on, dude. Like, I'm not trying to be mean to you.
Yeah.
No, bully him.
Yeah.
What? God. All right,
shame.
Yeah, but that's what. So it's like I've been in, and you have to. Like I think a lot of us, if you have even a monocle of some slight charisma, then people have the tendency to kind of like even put you in that position.
Right.
So it's like you may not even be doing it on purpose.
Yeah, I mean,
but it's like,
but the thing is with Andrew Tate, like. The thing is like he probably also has read a handful of books about certain things and that's another reason why I was saying that about for the sake of social engineering. Like this man probably purposely like it like wants to like he sets out on a goal of being like I'm going to change this aspect of these people's minds, and it's like to that point it's like, well, I give you credit for I guess accomplishing what you're trying to accomplish, but in the same breath I don't support what you're trying to accomplish.
The thing is that I would have agreed with that if I didn't hear him literally say the same talking points, just dumber.
Fair. I mean, that's fine, but whatever.
If there's social engineering, I think there's social engineering in that. Maybe he's dumbing himself down to appeal to the masses.
Right.
Because see, and it's not to say that the masses are dumb, some of them are, some of them aren't. But when you use certain phraseology, when you use slogans, that is always the best way to get people in. To get the majority of people in, because I mean it's same thing with like pop music or a lot of the hip hop these days. You have to kind of like water it down so that it can be acceptable for everybody to take in. That's why he used TikTok. That's why that was his main base of moving stuff. That's why he's using controversy. That's why he's just saying just flat out stuff like, well, see what you really want, like a woman really blah 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 da da da
is a whore.
Yeah. I don't think he will go that far. But he'll be like, a woman is property, right? Like if I'm married to a woman, then she is my property. And at the same time, you got I'm like, well, I guess that's how people used to do with treasuries and stuff.
Yeah.
That's how somebody that would be the common thought of a general public person. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Just ignoring the fact that we haven't acted like that in over 100 years. Like,
Yeah.
or like we're not all coal miners, and like our wives. Only way we can get a divorce is if our wife cheats on us or some crazy shit.
Yeah,
like
but they don't care. It's like I said, for I told you, I think the thing that has amazed me over the last few years, it's just how little people really seem to know about a lot of shit.
Right.
Like just things that I would say is just common sense, but a lot of people don't know about it because they live in bubbles and their own bubbles. They know about their bubbles, but not about everything else, I guess.
Well, I'm sure this will be something we continue to talk about throughout the year because I doubt the Andrew Tate show is over. Before we get off of here, though, I want to I know you probably don't care about this or know anything about this, but did you hear about what happened in Brazil the past couple of days?
Oh, shoot. Let's go on some real shit.
Okay. This is not necessarily like a topic that I've done.
There's an uprising.
I dead ass. They stormed the fucking Congress in Brazil.
Damn.
Okay, so like they had an election like earlier this year, or excuse me, last year, and Bolsonaro, the guy that let's just say he's the every one of these countries has like I'm going to refer to it as their right and their left candidates. Okay, just for but you've got your right candidate Bolsonaro, who was the president, and a lot of people here say your Ben Shapiro's of the world and stuff like that. Your right wingers, I guess, of America were very much so like, hey, we need to make sure that Bolsonaro continues to be the leader of Brazil because it is South America, and the further along we get in the years that pass, clearly we're far more connected to South America than we used to be. And it's become more relevant in the past few years. But anyway, so Bolsonaro lost to some guy named Lulu or some shit like that. I don't know. But he pretty much
beaten by a man named Lulu, boy.
Yeah, you suck. But okay, so they ended up he lost, and then they had like these crazy protests all over the country, like millions of people in the streets losing their shit because this guy won. They're basically saying unfair election. I mean, it's the same pony show across the entire world. It's the same thing that happens over and over again. Fake bullshit election. It's the same thing that would happen if Bolsonaro would have won, but in the same breath, they did the same map that they use here. You read
all right. The question is, before that happened, were they running around saying it's rigged? Were they pretty much like preemptively saying that if I lose, it was rigged?
Both sides were saying that. It's the same. That's what I'm saying. It's the same playbook across the entire world. The past elections they've had, they've said it everywhere. It's all
people
rigged.
Really had to stop fucking falling for that shit.
Well, but it seems like the majority of the way these are all playing out is the progressive people are winning. And it's like that's another reason to just flood that concept. I mean, that it's you say the term social contagion has gone around, but I almost think that it's a social contagion to say that the election was rigged all over the world. Like everybody just says that. But mind you, whatever people are entitled to their opinion, that's a whole other conversation. But people were losing their minds in Brazil about this. They protested. Even Bolsonaro had to come out and tell the people, like, "Hey guys, just chill. Like, it is what it is. We'll get them next time. Like this isn't over. Our fight's still going, but you guys have got to chill for the safety of the country. One of those kind of things. And it also makes him look good too, because he does a big pedestal saying shit like that. It doesn't matter. I don't feel yay or nay about him. I don't know enough about Brazil's politics. Well, anyway, just the other day, clearly stuff was still brewing over there, but just the other day, a bunch of his supporters are supporters of that movement, that direction. Let's just say the MAGA movement of Brazil, the freedom movement, or whatever whatever it may be. I don't know whether they're justified or not. Who am I to say? You know what I'm saying? Like
that's what I'm saying. Like you had to in Brazil, it may actually make more sense.
I mean, it might make sense here too, and we just don't know because it's like you really don't know. You really never know. I mean, any of these elections could have been stolen. Any of these elections could have not been stolen. I have no clue. But I will say these I stole the election. No, they and then my YouTube cuts out.
Every box.
I knew it. I'm like COVID burnt. No, but so they basically stormed the Congress and like raided it and like was railing like huge crazy setting shit on fire, fucking up the protest, fucking up the stuff. Well, Bolsonaro is in a hospital in Florida right now. It says that right here. It says former Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro has been admitted with abdominal pain to a hospital in Florida. His wife said. It's like it comes a day after thousands of his supporters stormed government offices in Brazil capital. Mr. Bolsonaro was taken to a hospital near Orlando on Monday, according to reports. Former president was stabbed in 2018 and has since struggled with abdominal pain on occasion. On Instagram Monday, Michelle Bolsonaro confirmed that her husband was under observation due to abdominal discomfort. A source close to the family said his condition was not worrying, according to Reuters. The story was initially reported by Brazilian news outlets O Global. Mr. Bolsonaro left Brazil for the United States about 10 days ago. He refused to take part in the handover of power. Handover of power to Luiz last week. And it says right here on Monday. Okay, so basically, also people are pissed. They're like visa questions. U.S. President Joe Biden is facing pressure from members of his party to remove Mr. Bolsonaro from the country. So basically, what I was getting at was the fact of like, okay, so basically he bailed on Brazil because he still didn't want to hand over power or whatever. So basically, he bought some time after those protests after the election. And the big thing is you're supposed to sign papers or play your part, and the same shit that happened with Trump.
Make that concession, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Hillary was saying that it was rigged. It's like, yeah, but Hillary actually conceded.
Yeah, did she?
Yeah, the day of. Well, I think maybe like a day after, but it wasn't that long ago. Like Trump still to this day is like, it was rigged. You got to watch it live sometimes, man.
It says right here, Hillary Clinton concedes. Okay, yeah. I was about to say, I don't even know that she did, but yeah, so it's just that thing, like, and I'm pretty sure that Donald Trump eventually conceded too. But
he still to this day says that was, I think maybe publicly he said that shit just so he wouldn't get in trouble and everything. But it's like, if you look at any of his little rallies or whatever, he still be talking wild and out about that shit.
Yeah, well, and to a fault. Like it's like it's ruining his chances for becoming president again because he's so goddamn worried about the last election. It's like he won't shut up about it, and that's what's going to end up crucifying him whenever it comes time for him to actually run for president.
He has to stop pandering. He has to stop pandering the same way Andrew Tate has to stop pandering the same way a lot of these people have to stop. Just like try to be more middle.
Yeah.
Because it's not enough of like the crazies to keep you afloat. Yeah. It just isn't. And that's for both. There's not enough of like insane progressives and aren't enough insane right people. But I know in Venezuela, I think that's different from Brazil, but yeah. I know in Venezuela, they be doing wild shit like that often. And I know Brazil has a history of doing type of stuff like that too. Like, you've ever seen the movie Argo?
I never watched it, no, but I've heard of it.
Like during certain uprisings in certain countries like that, they will go inside of those buildings,
yeah,
and drag those people out and fucking hang them in the streets.
Yeah, well, I mean, shit, that's what happened with fucking old boy. This is not exactly what happened, but the motherfucking oh man, I'm not gonna be
like, I know what happens. I think it happens in the Middle East as well. I'm not too sure.
I think it happens there quite frequently. But what was that guy's name specifically? We're both the Hillary Clinton boy. Basically, we built this whole fucking dude up, paid for his whole socialist revolution, and then we pretty much convinced all of these people in this country. I say we. It wasn't just us.
I was like, oh, I ain't do shit.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying it wasn't.
Fuck, I did it.
The CIA has like notorious.
Oh, you talking about John Snowden or whatever?
No. Okay. Well, that's a whole different thing. But God, what was this dude's name? Gaddafi. Yeah. Like they got Gaddafi. They had videos of Gaddafi getting like knives shoved up his asshole and shit, dude. Like in the streets. And Gaddafi was like a fucking. I mean, he went from being like a savior of this country to being like literally a tyrant, which I'm pretty sure like he was a piece of shit, but like they were like selling people and stuff like, but like he was, I mean, they basically start that you should, if you ever get time, you should watch like a documentary on like what happened in like Libya and stuff, like when this dude was like the boy over there. But like he was, I mean, we were like down with him. Like we were like, yeah, like he's the boy. And then eventually like you've heard the quote, we came what was it? We came, we saw, and he died or whatever. And like Hillary Clinton's like laughing about him dying or whatever. But it's like we're the ones who like funded his whole revolution and shit. And it's like, what the fuck? Like, it's the same. I mean, it's not the same thing, but it's very similar to Osama bin Laden. Like Osama bin Laden, like worked. It's like we were talking not too long ago, jumping around here, but we were talking not too long ago about how like we had that prisoner and traded him for an old girl. The
Yeah.
it's like that motherfucker was working selling guns for us too. Like he was helping make gun deals with us. It's like it's
Be careful now. You're saying a lot of bad shit about America, dude. And it's not right. It's not patriotic.
Yeah, well, they can't silence me because fucking YouTube is the censors of all devils. I'm just joking.
No, if anything, YouTube's gonna like you now. You're on the opposite side now, boy.
Yeah,
but at the same time, like I said, that is the truth. Like you have a lot of information that comes out 20, 50 years later.
right.
By that time, it doesn't particularly matter because it's all said and done.
Yeah,
like the whole
and people and the young people at the time, the loud minority, don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck about that.
They're not gonna care until they're basically our age, maybe older. Because I think we talked about this. We were just hanging out, but boomers, when they were our age, they didn't give a fuck about this type of shit.
Yeah,
they were still partying and doing crack. they were still living. They were still living the life. They didn't particularly get off into politics, maybe, or some of them, not all of them. I can't say this for everybody, but you have some people who weren't really into that crap until they got to like 50 years old.
Right.
See, like people in our age group and maybe in younger, you have even teens now who are kind of more invested in politics now. I guess maybe that's either a good or bad thing because a lot of these people don't do the research they're supposed to do, me included. But anyway, back to your point. But back to your point, yeah, it's just I don't know.
Well, my main thing, what I also was saying, it's just the point of like, people talking about like you have people loud, outspoken 20-year-olds now. They don't even remember the fucking Obama. They don't even know anything about the Obama administration.
No,
they'd be like, yeah, fucking, what's so bad about Joe Biden? What's so bad about Joe Biden? Motherfucker, there's more proof. I'm not saying that Joe Biden is racist. I'm just saying like there's more video evidence and more things just
Kamala Harris
to say that these motherfuckers are crooked ass. Like you could even say Joe Biden talks about this country is needed for a long time for A, B, C, and D. It's like, you stupid motherfucker. You're the reason, like, you voted for this shit to be fucked up in the first place, you dumb fuck.
But it's like the point that I kind of made before. It's just one of those things.
Yeah.
Like they were doing what was acceptable at the time.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. They just played the game.
That's just the truth of it. Like you had some black people who were okay with the war on drugs thing before they found out what the second wave of it was about. It wasn't just about, okay, let's get drugs out of it. No, it was about the other shit. You got Hillary talking about super criminals.
Yeah.
You got Hillary out there calling black people fucking like we got superpowers and we out here robbing and mobbing and everything else. And it's like, of course, it's one of those things that is like it's brought the race down forever. Like we can never really completely get out of that situation because not only that, but like the culture is steeped in the culture, steeped in the music. Even when you have people who try to oppose it, like Kendrick Lamar or J. Cole or something, you got like 500 other people who are like, yeah, no, fuck that. Let's keep it going. But yeah, like when it comes to these politicians and stuff, they just play the game. They do what they need to do at the time, then they'll turn around and be like, yeah, well, I know I wrote that, but hey, we were all kind of racist back then. And that's basically the truth of it. I think,
and there is some merit to what they're saying. Like, yeah, you're kind of right. It's the same shit that like other people will say about how it's like, well, in fucking 100 years ago, everybody owned slaves, or not 100 years ago, but 200 years ago, everybody owned slaves. So we should,
Well, specifically, it was mostly only rich white people.
Well, yeah, I mean, in America, but
yeah, but it's but I always kind of like when we even argue that they're like, yeah, well, my great great granddaddy didn't own slaves. It's like, no, he just beat the shit out of every black person that he saw.
Yeah, he just walked around trying to keep everybody segregated.
It's like just because you say you didn't own slaves does not particularly mean that you weren't part of the problem. But at the same time, it's like it wasn't considered to be a problem back then.
Right.
That's just how it is. It's like you do better with every other generation, or you attempt to do better with every generation.
But
But
circling back to Andrew Tate, I mean, it's like, you know, him talking all that shit about owning the women and whatever. No, I mean, not I don't necessarily know the property and all that other stuff. It's like, yeah, but we moved past that, buddy. You know what I'm saying? It's like people don't own slaves anymore because it's fucking wrong and it's weird and it's fucked up. You know what I'm saying? It's like you don't own.
yeah, but see, that's the I guess that's kind of like the beauty of the meme, right?
Yeah.
You can play.
Yeah.
You know, you can just joke around with it.
I was
while at the same
kidding.
time, it's just a joke, bro. I'm gonna go to the projects and call black people the hard R word, and when they pop me in the face, I'm gonna pretend to, you know, be all upset and be confused as to why they did that. But see, it's because of what American cultures has kind of become, which is basically troll culture, especially online. And so he has the internet in a sense, or what he thinks is the internet.
Right.
I said like what he thinks is the internet, like what he assumes is the vast majority of it. Yeah, like what he assumes is the youth culture. But see, youth culture is expanded to people in the fucking 40s. So
right.
That's the problem. It's like people back in the day would have been able to read this dude differently. I think they would have been able to say like, this guy's a scam artist. He's this, he's that, and the third. I'm going to go back to work, you know, and hit my wife. Or I'm going to go back to work and do whatever else and I'm doing. Like this, that's my life as a 1950s person or whatever. But now it's just you have so many people who either A, don't have jobs, or B, they've never talked to a girl before. All they know is that Sally called him ugly one time, and that's just stuck with him for whatever reason. Or you, like I said, you have other guys who've been through some crap with the relationships. They don't particularly know how to deal with it. Or you just have people who just want to go online and talk crap. Like there are little kids out there quoting Andrew Tate to little girls, just for the hell of it.
An interesting part about it too is like I think that what we're gonna have to do, and this just goes with society in general, looking at it from 30,000 foot up, is we're gonna have to course correct, because it's like people have been. We're well into the age of information now, and people have all. Well, I could think for myself, and by me thinking for myself. I can have this stronger opinion about something that's obtuse to modern society. Used to, information was a lot more streamlined than it is now. Well, or maybe it was a lot more filtered and could be put out however, you know, they wanted it to be put out. You know, it could be like grammar correct, could be put on it, and they could do whatever they wanted with it. Well, now people are allowed to think whatever they want. And as a whole, we are like, oh shit, you know, like that's a little too much, you know. It's like, but we can't see that now because people have the freedom to think and do whatever they want. It's like people have to, the lines of morality almost have to be redrawn, because so many people are just like, oh, well, I can, you know, I don't know. A lot of people also don't realize that they're just fucking, I mean,
a lot of people think that they're smarter than what they actually are.
That's a good way to put
it. I think that's kind of the thing. Is like you have all this freedom now, you have all this information, and you think that you know what to do with it, but you really don't. Like the internet was supposed to be a great thing for everybody, and I think for a while it kind of was.
Right.
But it's not like the internet is going to appeal to everybody as a fucking scholar. The majority of people are not scholars. The majority of people are not, you know, fucking geniuses. They're just normal people.
Right.
And they're very easily manipulated. Normal people have always kind of been easily manipulated.
Especially if they're not thinking to protect their mind.
Yeah, especially if they're not thinking. And a lot of them aren't thinking. A lot of them are just reacting. A lot of them are just looking at, well, as a white man, I feel threatened now because, you know, MTV made a fucking documentary about how white people enslave people all the time. And I don't like how that makes me feel.
Right.
Or whatever else, the counter to that. It's like everybody's just on edge 24/7.
Yeah, of course you don't like gang culture because you're white and I'm black. It's like, no, because gang culture is dangerous. Yeah. I don't want you to die as a black man. Well, why do you care about me? Well, I don't want you to die in general. As a human, I don't want you to be involved with such chaotic bullshit. It's like, that's, you know, a reach, but you get what I'm saying. Like that kind of stuff. I'd say gang culture. It's like I think that
it's like that would work if white people, and not all, like you can't even say these things anymore without people like getting fucking rustled of like, goddamn. It's like it wouldn't matter if white people wouldn't. The reason why it's kind of grown in, you know, in popularity over the last few years.
Right.
It's like if you didn't have people upholding drill music and sucking that down while at the same time saying J. Cole's boring. You know,
Yeah.
while at the same time living in the suburbs, not doing a damn thing, not knowing nothing of that lifestyle.
Yeah.
And
Well,
now they done moved on to different music because, oh my God, the music's so boring.
my
Or
my g- my
I've grown
go-to
up
is
now.
my go-to used to always be like, all this music and all these artists talking shit about white people when white people are paying for concert tickets and for their music. It's like that's the main people that spend, like, I'm not saying that black people don't spend money on music and concert tickets, but it's like, dude, you
NBA
go,
young boy, I guess.
like, it was crazy. The first time I saw Lil Wayne live, it was dark in there. You know what I'm saying? But
I didn't know.
the second time I saw him live, it was almost like just a fucking slew, a parade of just little white girls and like, little white dudes that dress like skaters and shit. And I'm not saying that that it was
Yeah, but see,
all
that's
white.
also, but it's like at the same time, I don't. Maybe Wayne kind of started that.
I
You know
mean,
what I'm saying?
when
Like
when something goes into the mainstream, it's
yeah,
not like rap was initially a bunch of white kids. Of course not. That culture started in black culture. Black culture started hip hop overall, but it's like when it all boils down to it, when it comes into the mainstream, it is what I mean. Can you imagine? I know that it's nowhere near the same, but can you imagine how many black cowboys and how much more acceptable it was? I say black cowboys. Wow, how much more
like
acceptable it was to be, even if it was still a little taboo. Like, black dudes were leaned into like, fuck it, dude. I'm rocking Hollister and fucking a cowboy hat because Little Nas X did it. So fuck you. I can do it. It's cool now.
yeah.
You know what I'm
No,
saying?
well,
Like,
it's kind of like when me and your wife were talking about like all of a sudden everyone's saying like, as a black guy, I really like anime, or as a
yeah.
black guy, I really like Paramore. It's just it just makes you want to slam your head into a fucking wall because it's like, yo, who cares?
Hmm.
Why y'all? The fact that you had to hide it shows worse, if anything else. But I mean, I guess the idea was like back. The idea is that black people just synonymous. I think the idea is that they're just cool default,
Yeah.
and if you do anything outside of that, then you consider to be white.
Right.
And see, if you're a white dude who likes black culture, they sometimes they accept you more so than they accept the black dude who likes a little bit of white culture.
Right.
Like I've seen that happen time and time again. Like I've seen like dudes who would be like a white dude who would be talking to a black girl and using black scent, and the girl not being insulted by it at all.
Yeah.
And then he'll switch up, go hang out with his white friends, and be talking as white and how Abercrombie and Finch is possible. And I'm like,
Yeah.
yo, what the fuck?
Well, and I mean, it's a tale as old as time, and it
It's
continues
like
to
it's damn
happen.
near condescending, but you know,
Look at just a prime example, and most people that are any bit younger than us don't even remember this era. But fucking, you're a jerk, bro. Like that changed the game. That
yeah,
you're a
it did.
jerk and party like a
Well,
rock star
you
changed
could
the
say
game.
Kanye and Drake and maybe a few others kind of made it more acceptable for like white kids besides the whole Eminem thing. Because before that, it was just him.
Sure, but what I'm saying is like whenever, like literally, and I remember stories from my friends that went to public school. They would be like, I remember they're just being so baffled at the fact that it's like 6 months ago we were getting made fun of for wearing band t-shirts and skinny jeans and all black and shit like
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
and then You're a Jerk came out, and literally
Truck fit. Wayne.
all these guys start shopping. I mean, all these guys start shopping at Hot Topic.
Yeah.
Like the same guys that used to bully me for wearing skinny jeans, not me specifically, but I'm just saying the same people who would have bullied me for wearing
Shit,
skinny
I ain't
jeans.
get bullied by nobody, bro.
They were. I didn't mean it like that. I just mean I didn't go to
No,
public
yeah, I
school,
got you.
so I wasn't in the mix like that. But like those same guys are shopping at Hot Topic. They're buying Rancid
Yeah.
t-shirts. They're buying Pierce the Veil t-shirts, Led Zeppelin t-shirts, and they're rocking that shit at school. And like they're like, fuck you. I mean, I wear whatever I want. And it's like, no, you literally are just as much of a fucking follower as anybody else. It's
Yeah.
like you would have never worn this shit. You would have
I
never worn
do.
skinny jeans and Vans.
In
But
my school,
now,
I do remember people specifically being against that. Though. A few of them, not all of them. But see, that's because
sure, because
it
some of them,
happened so fast.
yeah.
It was like literally within the span from our freshman year. At first, it was all about Jabos. It was
Yeah. Of course,
it was
I remember.
Jabos and whatever, and pretty much we were all still dressing like we were like 90s dudes in fucking
Tall
New York
tees.
somewhere. Yeah, in Timberlands.
Yeah.
Ain't none of us from New York, but that's how everybody was dressing. But then like my friends and some of my friends in my group, they were from New Orleans and it was different. Like they
Yeah.
kind of came in with a different style. Most of
Yeah.
it was from Wayne.
It was city
Because they,
shit. It was
yeah.
city shit too. Like, I
And
mean,
so
it was different.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like even with our background, we can't completely say that we were completely with everything because it's like city shit is completely different from how we grew up,
Right.
even social media was. But I mean, trying to look outside.
All that skater shit came from West Coast. Like
Yeah.
I say skater shit like the style, not necessarily skating, but obviously, like you were saying, Wayne affected that heavily when that first he started doing that, but which is great. And in the grand scheme of things, I think as far as it being, I especially as a 30-year-old adult, I could give a fuck less what somebody wears. I think it's cool when somebody looks cool,
Yeah.
cultured or whatever, and that does their own thing. I also think it's cool if motherfuckers wearing big ass long Dickies pants and fucking or Dickies shorts that go down below their knees and a tall tee. I don't care.
Yeah.
I think you can do your thing.
That's what that goes back to the same thing. Is like I don't particularly give a shit about the style or the scene at all. Like if you
Right.
got to do what you have to do in order to fill the void that is your personality, go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
But for people to be as aggro about it as they are, to be like fucking as reactionary and tribalistic as they are, that's when it gets weird.
Right. Got my Vans on, but they look like sneakers.
How the hell we even get on that subject, bro?
I don't know, but I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up because I still have to mix this shit down. So
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you for joining me again on Live 2.
That's what you named it. Live 2.
Live 2, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, live from the 500 folks. It's Mr. Crazy Flow jumping like a bungee no rope. Even when it's something I don't know what the fuck he says, but it's just hard. But
that's the one. That's the one song I don't know.
That's the
one. Why do I try to rap that one?
But yeah, so fuck yeah. Yeah, I'm already kicked off of YouTube. I'm like, oh well, at least we were recording.
Like, bro, just from saying that.
that's
yeah is a microaggression. All right.
Okay, yeah, cool. Suck my dick.